anything else that stood out to you, whether it be positive or negative, that you want to, discuss or put
I
out?
mean, with the military, there's a lot of positive and negative things that happen. It is a great opportunity. Don't let anybody tell you any different. Like, there is a lot of great opportunities there. You do learn a good trade. Hopefully, you get one that's utilized outside the Navy if you decide that the military is not something for you. But you definitely learn a lot of information. You learn a lot of communication skills. You build a lot of lifelong bonds that really don't diminish over time. Um, I know that I have a lot of friends that are still in the military. A lot of people that are in my circle were people that I had served with, first command, second command, third command, and I'm still very close friends with them to this day. A lot of those people that were in my circle were in my wedding because our bond was so strong. Whether it was because we shared good times together or we shared bad times together, but we grew as individuals together. There's a lot of politics that go on with the military that I don't necessarily agree with. Um, Sometimes because of your rank, you have to swallow bullets and just do what you're told. And there's not a lot of room for communication, whether the person that issued the order is in the right or they're knowledgeable about the subject or not. Sometimes you got to just shut up and do and look at them crazy when it's like, look, I told you this was going to happen, but you can't say that. But you can definitely be thinking it real strong with your face. And that's what I did a lot. But all in all, man, I wouldn't have traded the experience for anything, man. I gained a lot of friends. There's a lot of money to be made. I got a great skill. And, you know what I'm saying? It's a blessing. No matter how you look at it, sometimes it was good. A lot of times it was bad, but everything is a blessing.
Well, yeah, exactly. So as long as you're able to see the next day, you can make an improvement on what didn't work the last. So I
Absolutely.
definitely agree with that. So I know recently you married yeah, the love of your life and everything like that. So I want to know. So I want to know, in your own opinion, what is the definition of
The
love for
definition of love,
Stephon Scriber?
man. Let me tell you, man. The definition of love. I feel like every day is another moment where I can redefine the definition of love and what it means to me. For me, definition of love is when you care about somebody, you care about their well-being, you care about their way of life more than you care about yourself. When you make actions and you make moves on behalf of someone else, not because like, okay, yeah, they would really like this, you know what I'm saying? I think they could really benefit from that, or yeah, they're really going to appreciate this. But you do it purely because like you love that person. Like my wife, she likes puzzles. I cannot stand puzzles, but she likes me to be around her when she's doing puzzles. So I will do puzzles knowing damn well I don't like them. She know damn well I don't like them, but I do them because she is the woman that I want to spend the rest of my life with, and I enjoy being around her. I enjoy doing things with her. So when I'm with her, it's not like, oh man, we gotta go do this puzzle. All right, whatever. It's like, okay, cool. You want to do a puzzle? Okay, cool. Let's do a puzzle. Later on, we can take turns and you can do something that I don't want to. Well, I like that you don't necessarily like. Like I like anime. She can't stand it really, but she'll watch it because of me because I like it and she loves me. So it's definitely love is definitely something that. Well, let me first off say about like love is not easy. Love requires work. Love is hard work. But when you have someone that's willing to put in that same amount of effort as you do, like nothing is impossible, and it's a beautiful thing. I wouldn't trade love on any level for anything. Like you got love for your friends, you got love for your family, you got love for your significant other, where it's a man, woman, or it's a dog, or it's this tree in the background. Like love is beautiful. Love is beautiful. Love is life.
Yeah, I mean, you said it all right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely said it all, man. And with that being said, I mean, it seemed like clearly, it didn't take you too long to figure out she was the one. But what really solidified or stamped that? Yeah, she's the one for me.
Um, I'll be honest with you. What solidified it was our very first date. Our very first date, I knew that this was gonna be real. Like I had a real woman in my presence, and I have to make sure that I wipe her up because one, she's beautiful. First thing, we met at a Texas Roadhouse. It was a blind date, and I was unsure if I wanted to go, but I was like, you know what? I got nothing to lose. It's just a date. It's just a dinner. And then I saw her, and I was like, oh, okay. One check in the box, done. And then we started conversing. We just started getting to know each other, and I quickly learned that she's not just, I'm out here, whatever. I don't know how I'm going to pay my electric bill or anything like that. Like, she was a real woman. She's very, very intelligent. And I don't know if it's a thing. I think it is. There is a term for it, but I love intelligence. I don't care if it's man or woman, whatever. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna get with a dude, but like, I love intelligent people. I love intelligent conversations. We can talk about nothing intelligently. But she was very intelligent. She was down to earth. She was cool. She's not like a high maintenance chick. And I'm learning it all from the first date. I'm like, man, this is awesome. And then third, the thing that solidified it for me right off the top, where I knew no matter what else happened, I have these three things. And the third thing was that she found me funny. And that is I have an odd sense of humor. Sometimes it's borderline rude, and sometimes it's just straight goofy. Can't even lie about it. But she finds me hilarious. She's funny. So I knew that I had a beautiful woman. I had a highly intelligent woman. Sometimes I feel like she's much smarter than me. She just blow me out the water sometimes. And then she finds me funny. So no matter what it is in life, if we're moving, we're maneuvering, we're going through hard times, I know that we both have intelligence to bring to the table, that we're going to figure it out and we're going to be okay. I know that looks aren't everything, but everyone enjoys something pretty to look at. So I enjoy that. She's beautiful to me and she'll always be beautiful. And third, she's funny and she finds me funny. So no matter what, we're going to be okay. We're always going to be able to enjoy each other's presence, no matter if we don't have a lot. And if we do have a lot, we can still enjoy each other's presence. We both want to travel. We both want to explore this planet together. And that's so hard to find in this generation. Uh, like I said, I found her when I was, 28, 29. And I didn't think that I was going to find somebody. At that age, I'm just like, oh, man, I might just get a cat and call it a day. But she came out of absolutely nowhere, completely blindsided me, turned my life upside down. I knew by the end of that first date at Texas Roadhouse, I'm like, yo, I gotta start saving for a ring.
Yeah, and I mean, and when it does hit you like that, it's like it's surreal because you're not expecting, you're just expecting, hey, I'd rather for it just to be a decent time, rather it to be like a waste of, money and experience, but for you to have that type of, environment to be in, and then for everything to just kind of go all together, that I mean, that really just sets the tone for everything leading, after that. So, and also too, what I realize as far as relationships, when both people are secure in who they are and they love themselves, they don't let outdoor opinions affect in-house thoughts. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So whatever y'all go through, yeah, whatever y'all go through together, y'all go to work it out together, and maybe take bits and pieces of what somebody's saying and correlate it into what you have, but making sure your decision is the last decision, not mama, not daddy, not cousin, not friend. It's whatever y'all comes together with.
Man, you speaking like you married, man. That's it's so simple. Communication. People don't understand, or people don't realize that they do realize, but they don't take it seriously. But communication is paramount. It's foundational for any relationship, any truly positive, lucrative. It's you have to have it. You absolutely have to have it. If you can't properly communicate to one another, because I'm not going to sit here and say that me and my wife don't get into arguments or we had disagreements, because we do have two very different, strong personalities. But we have to be able to communicate how it is that we feel or felt at that time to come into some common ground, to come some common resolution, so that we can continue to move forward. Because no one wins when we're at odds and we don't know how to talk to each other, and all we're doing is letting emotion fly off the handle. And now, instead of properly conveying how it is that we felt about a certain topic, now we're doing nothing but hurting each other. And eventually that hurt turns into resentment, and resentment just turns into, oh, okay, well, now we have a failed relationship. In this case, it'd be a failed marriage. And we both said to each other on our first date, like, nah, if this goes any further, like, we have to make sure that we're able to communicate. And I looked at her and I was like, you are a goddess. You are a diamond in the rough on some
Yeah.
Aladdin shit for real.
Yeah, and that's the difference between coming there with a representative and coming there as as exactly as you are, so that way a person can choose whether or not they want to continue
Mhm.
talking to you from that point. So that makes a huge difference. And so now I know y'all recently got married, and so how was that leading up to being married, and then right after you got married, like what were those experiences like?
Well, experiences were, I feel like our experience before we got married and after we got married are pretty unique. Because right now, because Gaithersburg, Maryland, I don't know if anybody knows, but Gaithersburg, Maryland is extremely expensive. and we ain't got a lot of money. I mean, she makes good money, and I make good money now. But at the time, like it wasn't always looking so good. So we did what we had to do to save. But we were living with her parents, which include her mother, her father, her father's mother, so her grandmother, and her younger brother. And living in a large family like that, having to learn about how to navigate in the family, how these family members interact with each other, how they interact with me, comparing that, how they interact with my now wife, comparing that to how they react to me. It is a lot of observation and trying to get in where you fit in. There was a whole lot of that. And there still is a whole lot of that. Every day is an opportunity to learn and grow and love. I'll never not say that. So there was a whole lot of that, but I knew at the end of the day when I went to her father and I was like, this is very important to me because we were going to a cigar lounge. And I told him, this is very important to me. I wanted to have this talk with you because I want to ask you for your daughter's hand in marriage. And he looked at me. He's like, Stephon, I would be honored to have a man like you take my daughter to be her husband. I would be honored if you would. And I'm like, okay, go back there. You know what I'm saying? Like, that, to me, it meant a lot to me. It tells me that I'm not just living in your house and you're not just looking at me like, oh, who's this dude up in my house trying to, take my daughter away. I had to, critique you and criticize you and give you crap. Like, nah, there was love there. The love that I had for him was reciprocated. You know what I'm saying? We always talking about love. Like, love is so strong. Love is very important. Acceptance is very important. So that meant a lot to me. When I proposed in front of her parents. Right, it was on Valentine's Day. I think, yeah, I started having the flu, but I wanted to take her out. I wanted to do something to make sure, I was covering my mouth. I ain't trying to get nobody sick. And at the end of the night, I came back to the house and she was talking with her parents, facing away from me. And then she turned around and I was on bended knee with the ring, blah, out. What up, baby? This is a Leo diamond. What up? This is good shit. You know what I'm saying? And we had champagne that night and it was nothing but love. We got married. We went on a honeymoon. We came back. Uh, and nothing really changed. We still live in the house. We're still saving up because we're trying to get our own. Bada bing, bada book. Uh, but there's always this nothing but an abundance of love. Everyone has their ups and downs. Everyone, what I'm saying, we go through our thing because we're a whole bunch of strong personalities under one roof. So obviously, going to be things that happen that not necessarily everybody else agree with, but ain't nothing but love. And that's the one thing I could never ask for anything more than that, is that the fact that we all love each other. We may not all like all the same things or do all the same things, but there's nothing but love and appreciation and acceptance. And I wouldn't trade that for anything. Dead ass.
Yeah, no, I feel that, and that's how it should be. Everybody should be able to, as long as there is respect. Your differences of what make you unique is that's what brings more to the table. It can be different ideas or different strategies to help bring more solutions. So I feel like we're all different, links in each other's chain of success. So it makes a huge difference.
Speak that shit.
Yeah, man. So now what I want to ask you is something that I know, it can be in any order, but this question is your top five rappers in any order
Ooh,
and why.
ooh, ooh. Yes. All right, bet. All right. So first off the top, like you said, no order, but the first one that comes to mind is Kid Cudi. Kid Cudi has this uncanny ability that I haven't heard in many other rappers, if any other rappers, to put his soul, his life force into every song he makes. Whether he's rapping, he got these bars, or he's like literally just humming half of the song. Like those hums like resonate with my soul. Hums are like hugs to me. His hums, I don't know about everybody's hums. Some people can't hum good, but like the way that his music is portrayed, he bears his soul on every track, every single track, no matter what he's talking about. He's talking about real shit. And the fact that I've been through some of the things that I've been through in my earlier years, going through like pain and loss and feeling alone. During the time when I first joined the military, I remember the first time I was like, oh, Kid Cut, oh, okay, I need to listen to this dude because it wasn't day and night like most people like. Oh, I heard day and night, and I was hooked because I couldn't stand day and night because I was a different type of person then. I was on that Mike Jones drop and give me 50 tip. I wasn't there yet. Uh, but yeah, I heard the song called Cuddy Zone, and it was unlike anything I had heard up until that point. And I was just like, man, he got a little singing going on. I fuck with the beat and the words kind of coincide with each other. So it's not just an instrumental and somebody spitting bars. Like everything about this song, about this track meant something. Like everything. And I got the album, and like the album was fire. And so I continued to learn this man's music and his style and his story, and it just resonated with me. Everything about it. You ask all my people, like I love me some Kid Cudi. I love Kid Cudi. Second artist, Eminem, for more than obvious reasons. The dude is a lyrical genius. We're not even going to sit there and be like, oh man, I don't know if I like Eminem, man. He's getting washed up. Like lyrically, he's getting nothing but better. He's a highly technical, highly lyrical rapper. That's why people. What happened? Oh, what's the song? Renegade with him and Jay Z. And he's like, I'm gonna get Eminem
Yeah.
on my joint, and we're gonna kill this joint. And then Eminem outdid him on his own shit. And then after that, people stopped featuring Eminem on their songs. And I think Snoop Dogg said, like, I don't want him on my song. Yeah, Eminem can rap, but I don't want him on my shit. Ain't nobody going to outdo me on my shit. I think even Nas mentioned that on Ether. Like, how you gonna do a song with somebody else and then they OD on you on your shit? Like, that's real. Eminem, he started off real raw, and I think that was like the favorite part about Eminem in the beginning is that like he literally just spoke his mind. And it was crazy as fuck. Talking about like chainsaws and beating up his mom and you know what I'm saying, all this crazy stuff. But once you move past that, you see him evolve as a person, him change as a person that's reflected in his music. He put out some whack shit because he was going through his drug thing. But once he got his stuff straight, when he came out with the album Recovery, you saw like a brand new different Eminem, more focused on lyrics and flow and gritty beats. And you just had this album drop. Was it last year? Music to be murdered by, and that was disgusting. And he dropped a side beat of that. What last month? And it was even more disgusting. Like I don't know. Maybe I have like a bias towards I'd say quick pace lyrics called chopping, but I think I like that a lot. And as long as you got something to say behind it, I'm totally all game for it. That's why he's one of my favorites. Number three, Tech Nine, of course, and of course he's not number three, but third one I mentioned, Tech Nine. Tech Nine came to me originally while I was in Great Lakes for the Navy, going through my A school, and I was like, nah, I don't want to hear this shit. I don't know what this is, but I don't want to hear it. Isn't that nigga devil worshiper or some shit? And my man was like, nah, he's not a devil worshiper, man. You gotta give him a shot. And I was like, nah, I don't think I will, man. I was a different type of man then. A couple years go by, and I hear the song with him, Busta Rhymes, Yellow Wolf, Twister, Worldwide Choppers. And I was like, oh, this is Technique. Oh, I like this. I don't know what this is, but this nigga's fire. And I've been following him ever since. The people say, like, okay, well, he's spitting fast, and just because a man can spit fast doesn't mean that it's good. And I'm like, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But if you listen to the lyrical content, he's still talking about like real stories. He's talking about his life. He's talking about real stuff, like things that he goes through. He's talking about loss. He's talking about love, and he's talking about just having a good time. He's talking about, being the shit. He's talking about being misunderstood. He went through hard times. He lost his mom. He talked about that. Rapping fast is just the style that he used to do that. But the lyrical content is there, and it's there in a very, very unique way, where you have to really have an ear to sit down and listen to what he's saying. A lot of people say they don't like Tech Nine because he's spitting too fast and I can't understand what he's saying. And I'm like, okay, that doesn't mean he's whack. That means that you don't like that style. But anybody and everybody who understands, like, you can hear what he's saying will not say like, oh, nah, Tech Nine's whack. Because, I mean, I just read an article about a few months ago where Elton John was like, nah, you one of the ones, like, you one of the GOATs. Eminem will say he's one of the GOATs. Logic will say he's one of the GOATs. Jordan Lucas will say he's one of the GOATs. Kendrick Lamar, Macklemore, all these people who have made major successes, mainstream or otherwise, have said, like, nah, like, when it comes to that fast rapping, like, there ain't too many people that are better than this dude. When it comes to lyricism and what he's saying and how he's saying it, and I don't know, man, I get passionate about this, but Tech
Yeah.
Nine's one of the top ones. Number 4, I'm gonna have to go with old Kanye. And I have to say old Kanye because I don't know what happened to Kanye. Well, I do know what happened to Kanye West. Kanye West lost his mom. And from 808s and Heartbreak on, Kanye West ain't been the same. Now, don't get it twisted. There were some joints off of Yeezus that was fire. The Life of Pablo was pretty fire. I didn't listen to Jesus is King because, like, I don't know, you tripping, bro. I don't know. But everything up until then, can't nobody sit there and say that Graduation wasn't fire. That Late Registration wasn't complete fire. That College Dropout wasn't heat. Like, he put out nonstop album full of bangers, album full of good songs, great instrumentals, good stories, good flow. Like, everything was hot. He produced the entire Blueprint album for Jay Z. A lot of people don't know that, but he produced the entire thing. Like, Kanye West always been one of them ones. He just lost his mom, and then he lost his mind, and it's unfortunate that that happened. And I really hope that Kanye gets some therapy and gets off the meds and get back to what his roots. But I mean, that's got nothing to do with that. His music before all that stuff happened was amazing. And number five, I don't even know, man. I don't even know. Like, I mean, I think I'd have to say Logic. Logic, from Maryland. He's actually from Gaithersburg, Maryland. I've actually driven by the spot where he grew up, and he talked about in his songs uh, many times. So Logic is one of those cats who came out and he wanted to bear his soul on in his music. And he's like, people are gonna love it or people are not gonna love it. But my goal is to make it. I want to be one of the ones. I feel like I got the sauce. I got the juice. And as he's grown, he's learned to talk about things that make people uncomfortable. And sometimes people say he's corny. That he talks about being biracial too much and blah blah blah. But my thing is, you don't know this man's walk of life. He can tell you about it in his music all day long. You can watch his podcast all day long, but you don't know how the stories that he's telling you that happened to him has affected him. And for someone to drone on and on about, growing up biracial is hard because his mom, who was white, was actually racist and came from a racist family, which is completely mind blowing that a racist woman could have a black man's child and him come out looking like his mom. Like, he doesn't look fair skinned. I mean, he doesn't look fair skinned. He looks white. I had a bunch of friends in the Navy that were saying, like, yo, I like Logic, man. You this white rapper, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, Logic's not even white. He's biracial. And I mean, he got a little bit of black in him, so he's black. And they were like, what? I'm like, yeah, man, look that up. People don't even know. But how could you not know? After things come out, you don't know. I'm getting jumbled up. Uh, the man has lived a life, and he beautifully tells it in his music. One of my favorite songs by Logic is the Suicide Hotline song. Not necessarily like the catchiest or the grooviest, or he has bars in it, but it's a lot to say for someone to commit his music, his passion in life, to bringing awareness to people who lose their lives to themselves because they feel like they can't move on throughout the battle of life, that they give up. And it's unfortunate that people do give up. And it's even more so unfortunate that there's a loss of life because they feel they can't make it. They don't have anyone to turn to. They don't feel like there's anything they can do. And he dedicated a song to them. Like, hey, I get it. I've been there. I've done that. But let me tell you, there's always going to be an open ear. There's always going to be someone out there that's going to want to listen to you. In the Navy, we stress, suicide prevention awareness. And we tell people, like, hey, we post on social media, like, if there are 5 friends who want to share my status to raise suicide awareness, because you never have to take that option. There's always someone there to listen to you. There's always someone there to be there for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't ever have to hurt yourself. Just come and talk to me. I'd much rather spend 3 or 4 hours on the phone with you than to not spend any time on the phone with you. And now you took your life because you felt you had nobody to talk to. I'll get sleep back. I don't care about that. But if you take your life, I'll never get you back. And he dedicated a song to that, and that touched me. Like, that to me solidified his spot in my top 5. So there you go, man. Kid Cudi, Tech Nine, Eminem, Logic, old Kanye.
Okay, that was. Hey, I mean that list right there. I mean, if they was to do a versus against anybody, yeah, they would be pretty much unstoppable. You got all different types of varieties in
And
that, so that's a great list of entertainers that they're all different in their own way. So I mean, that's a great list, man. And in closing, I just want to ask you, in today's society, do you have anything that you just want to address or you just want to point out to either just give possible guidance or just your opinion on how life is and what could be a way of change or solution that maybe could bring us together even with all our differences.
Uh, I got something. I got something because I could talk about races in America and like subtle racism, covert racism, overt racism, all that bull stuff with Trump and the administration. I can go for hours about that. But the one thing I want to reach out because I know that you have a fan base that'll understand what I'm saying. Hopefully, uh, don't think that what's portrayed in today's music should be a way of life for you. And I mean that by the glamorization of drugs, the glamorization of that, everyone should be rich, that everyone should have this, that, and the third. Everyone should ball out of control. Everyone should have bitches. Everyone should just be on a nigga dick for a little bit, and that's all I wanted. So I'm gonna be out. Like, nah, that's not what life is about. R&B is dying because the glamorization, the glitz and glamour, is just what's taken over the young people's minds. Is what's being glorified, and that's not right. That's why there's a lot of people lost on this world right now when all they need is love. What they need is someone who is able to understand where they're coming from, to communicate effectively. But everyone's so wrapped up in I don't really care if you cry. That type of vibe. Like if you listen to the words of that song, like the chorus of that song is like depressing. It's popping, and I can't say that I ain't go to the club and I wasn't tearing shit up to that. But that song was like really depressing. I feel like there's a lot of influence that comes from the realm of rap music, which is now pop music. If you turn on the radio, just about every station in Maryland, minus like country stations, is playing hip hop. You know what I'm saying? 99.5, a pop station, plays a lot of hip hop. And if it ain't hip hop, then, it's some girl claiming that it's pop music, but it has trap beats behind it. 93.9, 95.5, even 96.3, 92.3, all is playing hip hop, the same type of trap drums, talking about the same stuff. And I won't say that there aren't standout artists that are talking about real life shit that just happen to use uh, instrumentals that are gonna garnish them money. I understand that. I completely understand that. But just don't think that the stuff that you want to go to the club to and you want to turn up to is like real life. That life isn't about body yada yada yada. Nah, man. It's about exploring. It's about getting your stuff together. It's about self-assessment. It's about finding yourself, loving yourself, and finding someone to love with you. Gaining success, whether it be with another person or you want to do your own thing solo dolo, but figuring out your purpose in life, man. Not everyone's meant to be a celebrity. And that's something that a lot of people, a lot of youth has to swallow. Like, not everybody's meant for that. Some people are meant to be doctors. Some people are meant to be electronics technicians. Some people are meant to be accountants. But if everyone drops what they're good at in school and decides like, nah, I'm gonna go ahead and do this instead, then are you really selling yourself short? Some people do make it, but some people don't. And now you've done this thing that wasn't your purpose for X amount of years that didn't pan out the way that you wanted to, unfortunately. And now you're like, what, 27, 28, trying to figure out what else you want to do with your life. And you have no resume. You don't have a strong skill set. And now you're struggling. Do what you got to do, get a skill set, do what you got to do. And then if that's something that you have a passion for, do that. But make sure you have some groundwork set up for yourself first. Prioritize your life and don't just think, well, I got to get money right fucking now. Like, it doesn't have to be that. There's a process. And the process can be beautiful or it can be egregious. It's really up to you. But that's just me.
Yeah, hey, man, yeah, I definitely applaud you, on all your answers to each question and just always showcasing yourself and never, trying to come off as something that's gonna make the majority of people, like you or embrace you. You understand that it's more than just one group or one type of person in this world. And to have somebody with a mind like yours, it helps move the culture and move society because it's not the ones that just hide in the crowd that make a difference. It's the ones that want to stand out that actually help cultivate something different for us to be able to like see and hear from different perspectives. So I just want to say, man, I appreciate your time and for your family and your friends and everybody. I hope they stay blessed, stay safe out here. And I just want to thank you for being part of this. We've always looking to collabing on something and creating something, man. So I'm glad we was able to get this done, man. It definitely means a lot. So you got anything else you want to add
Nah,
in
man,
closing?
I wanna thank you for the opportunity, man. You wanted to hear my voice, man. You wanted to hear my opinion, and I appreciate that, man. A lot of people want to reach out to people like, man, I want to interview this person because they're famous. But you're doing your own thing too, man. And I applaud you for that. And I wish you nothing but success and blessings on your path to the top. Because a lot of people out here ain't meant for that. But I feel like you one of the ones that might be meant for that. So, you know what I'm saying? Whatever I can do to support my brother, I'm going to support my brother. I'm going to do it.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate that, man. And and to everybody else, I want to thank y'all for tuning in and listening. Be sure to to share this with anybody you feel should hear this. And I just want to say thank you all again. And this has been another edition of the Mind of Our podcast.